So unless you've been hiding under a rock these past few days, you will have heard of Italy's latest tourism campaign, fronted by the computer-generated digital influencer based on Venus.
Ciao a tutti, il mio nome è Venere, ma probabilmente questo lo sapete già. Ho 30 anni, ok, qualcosina di più a dire il vero, e sono una virtual influencer.
Now, this campaign has been hit by a lot of controversy for, in my opinion, some very good reasons. And we're going to talk about it today because their catchphrase is open to Meraviglia, but I actually think they should have been more open to reality. It's probably worth noting that this campaign isn't something that has been dreamt up by a teenager in their bedroom at home or by a TikTok influencer or YouTuber. This is a campaign with a price tag of 9 million euros attached to it. This is a campaign that should have been professional, respectful, and something that wowed and amazed people who saw it. But unfortunately, the comments and the reaction it's had has been far from that, both here in Italy and worldwide. A lot of confusion has stemmed primarily from the slogan, open to Meraviglia. Now, one thing I will say here is I understand that Italy are trying to capitalise on English-speaking markets by including some English words in the slogan. But if you're going to do that, at least choose either the whole phrase to be in English or choose an Italian word that people have likely heard of. Meraviglia is something that I had to keep listening to on Google Translate to make sure I pronounced well in this video. It is not an everyday word that people are going to be like, yes, that means wonder. An advertising campaign is not the time to teach people Italian. It is the time to capture their interest and fascination in the country itself. And so either choose a slogan in Italian that we've got some kind of recognition of, La Dolce Vita is a very obvious one, or choose to have the complete slogan in English if that is what you choose to do. If you're going to mix and match two languages together, you've got to choose words that are going to relate to people at first glance. If you know anything about people's attention spans nowadays, we don't have the time to be looking on Google Translate to understand what a word means. So I think this is probably one of the first mistakes that they made and which has confused a lot of people. But stemming from that is the fact that this marketing campaign, for all of the publicity it was going to generate, for the fact it's been endorsed by the Italy's tourism board, did not have the domain name secured. So opentomeraviglia.it was currently available at the time that the campaign was published, and a local marketing company spotted this and secured the domain for themselves, and there is now this wonderful page on the internet created to this new domain and the story behind it, and they are open to suggestions as to what to do with this domain. I mean, what an embarrassment. You have a campaign with a huge price tag and you don't even secure the domain name for your slogan. As I said before, this is not a teenager in a bedroom. This is a marketing agency who are supposed to know what they're doing behind this campaign, but it doesn't stop there. There have also been reports that in the footage for this campaign, it showed images of Slovenia, but this is an Italian tourism campaign. It really is an embarrassment. And I think, honestly, like when I look at this campaign on a whole, I don't understand it. And I think this is what has led to a lot of confusion around the world because there isn't a direct correlation between Italy and what this campaign is trying to do. One thing I've come to learn from the 5 years of living here is that the people here are what make this country. The heart and soul of Italy is in the warmth, the hard work, the friendliness, just the talent of the individuals and the citizens that make up this country. And rather than embracing that and creating a campaign around the real people who live here and who make Italy what it is for the tourists that visit every year, they have chosen to use a computer-generated image to do that, thus losing any kind of connection between the audience and the country. Because people buy people, they don't buy into computer-generated images. There is no personality or depth or character or story behind a computer-generated image, but there is behind a real living person. And I think this is a real missed opportunity where Italy could have really capitalised on the citizens that make this country great. They've chosen to turn their back on them and instead invest an absurd amount of money into a campaign that lacks any kind of depth or character at all. And I think this is a real shame because essentially when you run a marketing campaign, you run a marketing campaign to tell a story, to connect with people, and people love that in a marketing campaign. And unfortunately, this is something that they've missed, and it's a real shame. Italy is an incredible country, and I was just like, do you know what? If I had the opportunity to run a marketing campaign about how to visit Italy and why, this video that I'm about to show you next is exactly what I would have put together. 5 years of living in Italy, and I have seen many different aspects, many different sides, but there is a warmth and a vibrancy and just an incredible history to this country that unfortunately this campaign in a way kind of mocks. So here, in my very humble opinion, is what would have been my marketing campaign had I had the opportunity to do something like this. Because it's not Italia, welcome to Meraviglia, it is Italia, welcome to real Italy.